Jack and Jill here.
Hello.
Welcome to the Jack Jill Show, entertaining real estate investment advice. I'm Jack Butella.
And I'm Jill DeWitt, broadcasting from sunny Southern California.
Today, Jill and I talk about bending your acquisition criteria. Is it okay or not?
You know, Jack, I'm sorry. I have to interject here because how long have we known each other?
It's been a while.
Yeah. How do you think I feel about rules and bending rules?
This is what happens before every single show. Jill says, now, bending acquisition criteria. What the hell is that?
That's exactly what I said. And then you gave me your definition, and I go, that's not what I thought.
Before every show, the exact same thing happens.
Yep.
So I don't know if you should not know it all and we should just laugh about it throughout the whole show, or
That's right.
we should just talk about it, intensely and provide real advice. Not that.
And heaven forbid rehearse. I don't know what that means. So
rules are meant to be bent.
That's how by Jill. If anyone got a doctorate in anything like that, it's me.
We're going to get into why I think bending your acquisition criteria is actually pretty healthy. It's ironic, but I think it really is. But before we do that, let's take a question posted by one of our members on the JackJill.com online community. It's free.
Okay. Jordan M. asks, greetings. My name is Jordan and I am in Texas. I want to learn more about wholesaling land as an additional revenue stream to fund our other real estate ventures. Currently, I build residential and multifamily properties, own single-family duplexes, multi-family and commercial buildings. I also have experience syndicating real estate partnerships. I think this could be a good resource for more money. What should I read to get started? Glad to be here.
So the reason I chose this, of all the questions that are put in front of me every week, is because, Jordan, you are the exact candidate for the Land Academy House Academy Group. Mm-hmm. You started in real estate. It sounds like it's either your career or full-time career, or you're seriously dabbling in it. In whichever one you're serious about it. Mm-hmm. We have more people come to us and say, I've been buying and selling real estate, or I've been a real estate investor in some capacity for 25 years, mm-hmm. and I didn't realize how easy it is to buy cheap property until I met you guys.
Exactly.
That's what it sounds like is happening here, and welcome.
What should I read to get started? Every thread you can get your hands on in this forum that you're reading in this environment. So he came to us, of course, in our online environment, so landinvestors.com or jackjill.com. And so I'd say read away.
So don't just stick with us. I mean, you should definitely read the ebook. The House Academy ebook's coming out really soon here. The Land Academy one's long been out, and people love it. I would go onto YouTube, understand what a mail merge is. A lot of this stuff you don't need to learn from us at all. There's better people out there to learn things like mail merge. That's very technical, computer-related stuff. But for real estate and buying cheap property, I have to pat myself on the back. I think Jill and I have it figured out. So
I'm confident.
And really the answer is read as much as you can. Avoid anything that has to do with, I explained this I just hired a new acquisition person, and I had to explain this to her. If you leave your desk, that's just, you're starting down the wrong path. It's so inefficient to leave your desk. And the nature of real estate is that you leave your desk. So you're in your car.
Funny?
And I just think there's so much time gets wasted when you leave your desk.
Uh-huh. I completely agree. You should have, like we're doing, boots on the ground. Get other people to do it for you.
That's right.
And you have six folks in 6 different towns. Look at that. Imagine you running around trying to do it yourself.
Exactly.
Impossible.
Exactly.
Thank you, Jack.
Hey, today's topic, bending your acquisition criteria. This is the meat of the show. So, what we say in the Cash Flow from Land program is set a parameter based on the comparison values of the county where you're working when you buy land. If you're in the desert type of property that we've cut our teeth on, from a land perspective, it's $100 to $200 to $300 an acre, and no more than 5 acres or no more than 20 acres or whatever it ends up being that you're sending mail out for during that scenario. Or if it's infill lots, you won't pay more than $12,000 in a certain MSA or a certain zip code or whatever your criteria is. But this show is about when is it okay to bend your acquisition criteria. Here's a typical example. Property comes, you send a mailer out for $12,000 for infill lots, let's say all over Austin, Texas. I'm just throwing it out as an example. And a bunch of people call back and say, 12,000 is too thin or 10,000 is too thin. I've got a bunch of properties at 18,000. You can have them all. Mm-hmm. What do you do, Jill?
And they might be worth it too.
Right. That's really my point of this whole thing.
Exactly.
So what do you do?
Well,
besides sit here and listen to me and look at me like, what the heck are you talking about,
It's
Jack?
Awesome. Personally, at the rate that we're at, I try to pay attention. If not, I make note of every one of them. I don't say, oh, never mind, have a nice day.
Right.
My team takes every inbound call and every inbound email or contact form filled out for something for sale. It gets logged and cataloged, because even though it's not what I'm looking for right now, it might be someday, and those properties are often still there when we circle back around.
Right.
So, I do that. It depends on, honestly, it depends on how great the deal is, how much time I have, and how far it is from my acquisition criteria. For example, say I'm dealing with only residential, I'm brand new, I'm just learning this thing, and someone dumps a commercial thing on me. I do not want, or industrials, heaven forbid. Last thing, or even agriculture. I don't really want to spend a week learning the rules just so I can properly evaluate and assess this property. That's a little too far from...
That's what I would call breaking your acquisition criteria.
Yes.
You don't want to do that.
Exactly. So I'm like, I don't want to go down that path. But
it's worth spending 10 minutes on. That's my answer.
Yeah.
So if you send mail out for infill lots in Austin, and the price is the only thing that you're bending, that is your product type. You've got buyers generally set up for all that.
Yeah.
If it's $3,000 or $4,000 more, it's worth spending 10 minutes on to look and see if you can justify it. Maybe even making a couple of phone calls to your favorite buyers. Mm-hmm. But any more, and then you're going to make a decision right there. But letting it linger, I'm guilty of this sometimes.
I am.
Letting it sit there and linger in your database forever because you just never really made a decision on it.
Exactly.
It's a really bad idea.
It's true.
It's unfinished.
It is.
So I think it's okay to bend your acquisition criteria a little bit.
You don't want to get distracted.
Look into it, yeah.
Okay, so here's my thing, though. When I read this, I thought you were going to say it's bad, because sometimes people are on their path and then it's like, ooh, something shiny. A guy just called me with a mobile home park and I'm doing this. Like, hold on a moment. On what planet does that fit your criteria and what you're doing right now? And by the way, you've only done 2 transactions.
Yeah.
Let's all be smart here. Don't get distracted. And that's where I thought you were going with this. Like, don't bend your criteria. Bend it, I guess you're right, but don't break it. Like you said, try to stay true, especially when you're starting out. Get to know a property. And I know I have a lot of our members that have been so successful because they got to know an area even. They're like the experts of this neck of the woods, if you will. And then they move on to another one and another one and another one. And those, they did it, methodically and carefully, and they're killing it. And then they know the next area, what to ask, what to look for, all that good stuff.
If you know anything about modern IT and computers, or if you've worked with tech people, you know that they each have a severe specialization. And so Jill and I grew up in a time where, we grew up in a time where companies didn't even have a tech department. And then all of a sudden overnight, there seemed to be an IT guy that's walking around making sure everybody's computer works. Yeah. And he's the guy that you would call if your mouse didn't work, literally. And it was only one guy. The mouse didn't work. The software wasn't right.
Anything funny,
computers.
You're right.
Anything computers, that guy, that you would call him. If you do that with a modern IT person right now, they'll tell you to go jump in a lake.
Exactly.
If you tell them your mouse doesn't work, they're going to laugh. They were trained to be database people.
Right.
Most of them have never built a computer. They've never been inside of a computer. They know nothing about hardware unless that's their specialization. Mm-hmm. And to ask them to fix your email, forget it.
They're there for the network.
But they're geniuses about whatever one little thing they work on. Mm-hmm. For us, we have a bunch of database people and web designers. But I'll tell you what. God help us if we ask them to fix our email.
Oh my gosh.
That ends up on my desk.
It does.
I have to deal with it. Also, call somebody. It's the same thing with acquisitions.
So funny.
be an expert at whatever you are, and leave like Jill said, the industrial property or whatever else is not your expertise. Just leave it alone.
To take it a step further, thank you, Jack. That was beautiful.
That means it's my turn. If you've ever had a wife, you know that. Thanks, that was beautiful. Now you're done.
Silly. No. Oh my gosh. So, or a mother. A mother would do that too, maybe.
Let's just say a woman.
Oh, thank you.
I get in so much trouble for this.
Thanks a lot. Oh man. If I could reach you right now, I might kick you under the table. No. So funny. What? Now I totally lost that, Jack. Shoot. Okay.
Mission accomplished.
You are a stinker. Anyway, it's just important to set this criteria and kind of stick to it and grow and build. And we were talking earlier too about, like you said, the leaving the desk. I'm just thinking about that right now. There's more than just your acquisition criteria you should embed. Oh, and I just thought about this. So here's a good thing too.
Good cover.
Thank you.
Wow, you just talked about nothing for like 3 minutes.
I did.
And totally pulled it off.
And it helped me. It helped me recall what was.
You were like a radio talk show host dream.
Just what?
It's this filler.
Fleeting out of my head, and now I got it back. So.
Did I distract? Did I lose it again?
Nope.
Okay.
I'm not going to let you do that. No, it's funny even thinking about acquisition criteria and stuff. Look at this show right now that we do. We talk so much about your expertise, which is acquisitions. We don't talk so much about sales, which is mine. So I think part of your acquisition criteria is not dealing with anything but acquisitions.
That's true.
And being smart and recognizing what you're good at.
Yeah.
So isn't that funny? And you use acquisitions. Let me take this a step further. It's so interesting. You use acquisitions and better acquisitions to solve every other problem.
I really do.
Isn't that interesting?
You can buy your way out of issues. Think about that for a second. I wrote a whole blog on this. You can buy your way out of negative cash flow if you know what you're doing about acquisitions.
Yeah. You can.
I mean, that's just truly amazing when you think about it.
It really is. I was talking to somebody about this the other day. Again, on what planet can you start a company for this? Right. And really, like you just said, we've seen people come from behind, man, and killing it now. And, now the kids' colleges are taken care of, and now the wife can quit the job and all those things. I can't, but just kidding.
Of all the people who should be quitting their jobs, we should be the number one and number two.
We're the ones that are like,
not.
I don't want to.
We're not.
Now it's too much fun.
Well, yeah, most of the time.
Most of the time.
Until I have to fix someone's email. It's a lot of fun.
Oh, my goodness. Don't ask Jack. Don't. Oh, that's the thing. If you are silly enough to CC Jack on something or go by his office and let it be known that you're having an issue with anything, it's on you.
It's taken 10 years.
Can't save you.
10 years for some of the people who work here to figure that out.
Yeah.
And thank you for saying it right on the air to everyone.
Oh, sorry.
No, I mean, I'm not sorry. I mean it. There's just, just don't tell them.
Our employees don't listen to this show. It doesn't matter.
I know. This is good advice for anyone. Just fix your own stuff. You don't need to tell your parents. You don't need to tell your boss. Just fix it.
Yeah.
Hit your numbers, fix it, and have fun.
Isn't that true? I really don't. I mean, I love you, but please don't brag about it. You too. Like, that's nice. It's like if you come to me and you want to brag about something that you just said, hey, look what happened to me, and I just did this. It's, it's almost like you've said this many times. Why are you even letting me know about it?
Yeah.
I shouldn't know about it. And now it's your fault.
Well, you've done it again. You've wasted another 15 minutes listening to the Jack and Jill Show. Join us tomorrow where Jill and I discuss how to talk to house sellers. It's kind of different than land sellers, actually.
Oh, yes, it is. And we answer your questions should you have one. Post it on JackJill.com, our online community.
You are not alone in your real estate ambition. Good show, Jill.
Yeah. That was, I think we didn't, I'm the rule breaker. We didn't talk too much about that. Thank you for not throwing me under the bus and asking me how I was such a rule breaker. And I still am.
Well, yeah, let's talk about it.
It's nature.
You are a
I
rule breaker.
Swear it's not nurture, it's nature. Because no parent would raise their child to be like that.
Just kind of say one thing and do something else.
Yeah.
That's really what goes on with you. Fortunately, you don't pull that crap with me, which I really appreciate.
It's just like in my head. It's the right thing to do. It always is. I'm not hurting anybody. Everybody's going to benefit when I'm done. It's just I need to run with this, and I need to do it my way. And if it didn't work out the majority of the time, I'd stop it. But it does work out.
I know. That's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
You get encouraged.
Yeah. Like, oh, look, that did work. I told you all. Hey, share the fun by subscribing on iTunes or wherever you're listening. And while you're at it, rate us there. We are Jack and Jill.
Information
and inspiration
to buy undervalued property.